October baseball is finally here, and the Toronto Blue Jays seem ready to fight. So, without further ado, let's break down this upcoming wild card series. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside my co host, Nick Gosse. We're back together just in time for the playoffs. And that reminds me, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, 1K subscribers. We're going to hit that mark in the off season. I have no doubts about it. But what's most important right now is this wild card series starting tomorrow for the Toronto Blue Jays. Alek Manoah, Luis Castillo in game one. I can't wait, Nick.
Yeah, it's we've been talking about it for the past week, and I mean for the past few months or a month the channel's been created. It's been leading up to this moment, which is a bit less than 24 hours away. How you feeling? I'm anxious.
I'm nervous. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be there for games one and for game two also. So you can't get much more nerve wracking than that. I'm gonna be in the building watching it in real time, and it's stressful, man. It's gonna be stressful, but I can't wait to see what that playoff atmosphere is like.
yeah. Seeing all the reports today, interviews because there was media day at the Rogers Center. It's I haven't been this excited for any sport since 2019 with the Raptors, but it feels like I don't know, something feels decent different this year. It's like we went into the playoffs on a crazy hot streak. Everyone's rolling, and they're bringing the 2015 2016 towels back in the stands. So have fun. You'll get one of
Love to
those.
hear it. Love to hear it. I'll probably get two of them, and
True.
I'll give one to you, Nick.
Do it.
But the thing here is we don't know what the Blue Jays roster is looking like. Obviously, you have your locks, you have your guys that you know are going to be on the team come October, but there's those like final bench pieces, those final bullpen arms. We don't know what they're looking like, and John Schneider is holding that close to his chest. He's not revealing that before Friday.
Yeah. I thought today we'd have a basically like full set roster, and I thought that would have been known by the end of today, considering they have to be put in by 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. But yeah, put this up on the screen right here. He said that Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Santiago Espinal took live BP Wednesday. They'll continue to test their readiness with running speed, a key one for Gurriel, and they have until 10 a.m. tomorrow to submit their roster. So I think they're just playing it by ear up until the final minute tomorrow for Lourdes. Because that's the big thing is Espinal and Lourdes, and then who they cut and who they keep. I don't know. I was hoping by the time this video will be up we'd know, but now it leaves us to speculate a little bit.
We have no idea, and we will speculate. Will probably give our predictions throughout this
Yeah.
video. But the way Whit Merrifield has been playing, we
Wow.
touched on it last video or two videos ago. He can't be taken out of the lineup.
No.
There's no platoon situation. He's the guy at second base, and that outfield spot is the one that's up for grabs right now.
Yeah, I think it's between. I mean, it depends on their health. With the starting lineup, I think we have a mutual agreement on. We'll go through that, I'm sure, again. But yeah, Whit Merrifield's a lock at second base, which is hilarious. A month ago, we probably wouldn't have said that. We definitely wouldn't have said that. But yeah, it literally just depends on Lourdes and Espinal and whether Gabby Moreno gets picked. And again, I think all of this depends on Lourdes and Espinal.
You obviously want Lourdes Gurriel in that lineup. There's no doubt about it. But if he's not 100%,
Tapia's
I,
fine.
I think an 80% Lourdes Gurriel is still better than Raimel
Yeah,
Tapia. But you want him to be 100% because the goal isn't to win this wild card series. It's to go all the way.
yeah. Tapia's been really good recently. I'm happy with him there in the eighth spot. But again, if we want to, like you said, if we want to go all the way, I think we're gonna need Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
Hmm.
But I think you've mentioned this in the last video or one of the other videos. Tapia, he's had clutch hits, so I have full faith putting him there. It just again, it lengthens out the lineup a lot more, and it will really has like a snowball effect on whether you keep Biggio in or whoever. I don't know what they're gonna do. We'll know like as soon as I wake up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, whatever we do, we'll know. And I'm it's a big question mark and it's a bit concerning to me.
Well, the fact that we're discussing this is, I think it's a positive because it just shows the amount of depth that the Blue
True.
Jays do have. And speaking about their depth, the MLB came out with power rankings. So this is Major League Baseball. The official account of Major League Baseball ranked the Blue Jays as the second best offense in the major league postseason, whatever you want to call
Whew.
it. They are top two, and I fully agree with that.
Yeah. It goes to show. I mean, I don't put too much, emphasis on these rankings either way,
No, me
but
neither.
it
Yeah.
is good to see them getting some love. But at the end of the day, let's get through the wild card against the Mariners first. But yeah, it goes to show you, like you said, our lineup is super deep. We have tons of capable players, and it's just a matter of everyone gelling like they have been and continuing to gel. And
Mhm.
realistically, to go far in the playoffs, you need to get a few players need to get hot. Really, the whole team needs to get hot. So, and we are hot right now, so we just need to keep rolling it. And I want to know whether Lourdes is going to play. That's my big concern.
I'll second what you say. To get far in the playoffs, you need pitching and you
Yep.
need defense. Great, because every game that you're going out there, your lineup is facing a top end starter, a front of the line starter, because there are no bad starters in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
Exactly. And yeah, everyone needs to be hot. Hitters need to be hot. And I mean, it works the same way for us. We're throwing out our best pitchers there every day, but they need to be hot. Our top three can go up against most top threes, maybe not the Mets, but most top three in any league. But the issue is they're 4 and 5, and some of our bullpen's a bit sketchy, I guess. So I don't know. It's I just want to see it happen. I'm ready. I don't want to talk about. Obviously I want to talk about it, but I just want to get into it.
The fact of the matter is, you could come out with as many rankings as you want, with as many predictions as you want. The bottom line is you need to perform out there on the field, and I'm confident that this Jays team can do that. And let's discuss what they need to do to get by this first series against the Seattle Mariners.
Well, the first thing, pitching. We're gonna need Gosman and Manoah. I think we need Manoah to. The first game is the most important of the whole season for the Jays. So pitching is, I would say, the first thing.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And I was talking to one of my buddies today. I was telling him I rewatched Game 6 of the ALCS in 2015, and I don't know why I do that to myself. I don't know why I relive the pain that I felt in that moment, but I feel like that was sort of a setup to what we're about to see this season from the Blue Jays, and that team was pretty similar to the one that we see this year. It's a lot of right-handed hitters, a lot of power hitters, but this team has a better approach at the plate.
Yeah,
They don't strike out as much. They hit better with runners in scoring position. And they're just an all around, more athletic team. They're not as one dimensional as those 2015, 2016 teams that we saw. The only thing, the only question mark is whether or not the bullpen can hold up their end of the bargain. And I think they can, because they have a real shutdown guy in Jordan Romano. The big key is, how do you get to Jordan Romano? So you know you're going to get six from Alek Manoah no matter what happens. And you know that you're probably going to get six from Kevin Gosman as well. That's been the story of the year. But how do you get from innings 7 to 9 with the lead? That's the huge key for the Blue Jays.
yeah. It's all. I guess the playoffs are made by obviously your starters, but the bullpen is one of them. Every good team who wins the World Series usually has a great bullpen, and you know I think Manoah. I think he'll have a stellar start tomorrow. I have no doubt in my mind. Um, and then Gosman as well. And we just need Anthony Bass, Adam Simber. We need them to really lock it in and really not give up any runs. I know it's obviously a lot to ask, but they got to lock it down. And if our bullpen, I think our offense will do good. I think they'll play up to their level and what they're capable of. But the bullpen is, I think they'll do it, but and they're gonna need to do it, or else we're gonna be in for some rough patches.
The biggest X factor for the Blue Jays is Jimmy Garcia.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting out of Anthony Bass. You know what you're getting out of Jordan Romano, barring like a catastrophe or just like an off day. It happens. But you know that those guys are going to go in there, pound the strike zone, and get some swings and misses. Can Jimmy Garcia be that seventh inning or eighth inning guy that we need him to be? That's the biggest key.
yeah. I mean, I agree. I think they're gonna John Snyder. I almost said John Gibbons. John Snyder's gonna put him into the in the eighth inning spot, 'cause that's what he's been all year. Um, and the real question is, will he give up a home run or will he lock it down and be the Jimmy Garcia who was for the first however many months of the season? Anthony Bass, I think, will be our seventh inning guy. and then sixth inning will just David Phelps, Adam Simber. I think we have the personnel to do it. I think Jordan Romano's gonna have a couple of 5-out saves, or 4-out saves. I think they'll be generous with him. And yeah, pitching aside, just need the hitters to do what they do. We're a better hitting team than the Mariners. Our top three, I think, is a bit better than the Mariners. So we should beat them. We just need it's close, but I think if we
It's
perform,
tough.
it is. It is. I think if we perform the way that we can, there's no reason. I looked at or I saw it today, or maybe it was yesterday. We're favorited in this to win the series. I think we're minus 174 or something like that. So like we should win. I think we're gonna sweep. I may as well get into the predictions. Get into the predictions now. So I'll ask you. I guess we'll start off. Do you want to go game by game or do you want to just go series? You can do both.
I'll go with the series here. I think the Jays win in three. I think it's a lot closer of a matchup than a lot of people are giving it credit for. I mean, obviously, Mariner fans are going to say, "Oh, we swept the Blue Jays. They have no chance." Blue Jay fans are going to say, "Oh, they don't have a shot in Toronto. We got the home field advantage." So you can't really get too much stock into that. But I think the Jays win in three, and I don't know. I just can't see them winning two in a row against a team that they're so evenly matched with.
Yeah. So I mean, based on the title, you know how I feel. I think we're gonna sweep, and I'll tell you why here. Obviously, I think the teams are close. I just think there's a couple of reasons. I'm gonna go quickly game by game. Not too. I think we win game one. Hot take 3-1. I think that's the score for game one. I think we win 3-1. I think Manoah goes like 6 2/3, gives up whatever. Game two, I think it's more of a back and forth game, but I think we win game two like 6-5, and that's it. I think that's all it is. I don't even think we need to go. I don't know who starts game two, whether it's Gosman or Stripling, because they've been talking about putting Stripling in game two if they win game one. I saw some rumblings of that, but I think they don't have the playoff. Now we don't have much playoff experience either. They're just a young team. I don't know. They haven't been in the playoffs in 20 years. I just think that I think they're going to play more like they're happy to be there, and we're going to play more like we're going to win the World Series. And I think we take care of business. And I think it happens.
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays have something that the Mariners don't, and that's a World Series MVP, George Springer.
That's
They have
exactly.
they do have playoff experience.
Yep.
They maybe not all the guys, but they got a little bit of a taste in 2019, and now George Springer, you brought him in, and I've been on record saying this. He's going to be their best player in the postseason.
Yeah, I completely agree. And if there's any Mariners fans here, we both love the Mariners. I mean, I love the Mariners. You love J Rod, so I don't know if you love the whole Mariners,
Yeah.
but I like the Mariners team. I can't help it. It almost feels like us kind of against the Rays in 2020 in a way. For the Mariners, they haven't been there in a while. Obviously, it was not as big of a difference, but I just think we're just gonna come in and I don't know. I just have a weird feeling we're gonna steamroll them now. Not steamroll them in the sense of blow them out, but I think we're going to win both games. And I think they're both going to be close. They're both going to be competitive. I just think in the end, obviously, we have George Springer. I just think, I don't know. I think the offense carries it home. And I think now the Mariners next year, whew, scary stuff. But I think this year we take it in two. Um, Sorry, Mariners fans. I know it might be a homer take. I'm just putting it out there. Also, I don't know. I just think,
I hope you're right. I
yeah,
hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't believe that I'm actually saying it, but the more games that you play, the more games that it takes to get through to the next round. That's more innings on your bullpen. That's more pitchers for your starters. That's more wear and tear on your starting lineup, on your position players, especially George Springer. We need him to stay healthy. So I hope you're right, and I hope that the Jays do win in two games so that they can be well and rested for the Houston Astros. But you got to take it a game at a time.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, realistically, we could lose tomorrow. My predictions gone out the water. That's why it's all about predictions. May as well have some fun with my
Yeah.
takes. I just think I don't know. I think it'll be a close. It's not going to be a sweep that's like us against the Rays in 2020. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think that it's going to be back and forth. I think we win game one in pretty convincing fashion in the sense that I think we lead most of the game. I'm gonna be curious to come back to this in the off season and see if I'm right or really wrong. But I think we'll win game one, and then game two will be a dogfight that we manage to pull it off. I think home field advantage is huge for us, especially because the Mariners haven't been there in 20 years. Obviously, they have some players I'm sure who've been in the playoffs recently or I'm not 100% what's not, but like Luis Castillo, he hasn't been. Has he? I don't think he's ever been in the playoffs. So
That's a safe bet because he's been on the
Reds,
Reds his entire career.
that's
So
exactly right. And neither has
yeah,
Manoah though. But I don't know something about Manoah. It feels like he has been.
yeah, no, I'm so confident in Manoa. I can't believe this guy's only in his like third year, second year in the
Second
second year
year,
in the
yep,
majors,
second year.
and he's so confident and he just exudes confidence and it rubs off on the entire team. With that being said, I mean there's so many interesting subplots, so many stories in this series that really make it a very intriguing one. And the first one is Robbie Ray. He's making his return. He wasn't allowed to play in the regular season in Canada. He's not vaccinated. But with that being lifted and him able to enter the country now, he's probably going to face Kevin Gosman in game two.
Yep. You saw the graphic there while he was speaking. Quick shout out to Raps Leafs Jays on Twitter. I saw this here, give him some credit, but yeah, I guess the first one we'll touch on, like you said, Ray returns to Toronto. Yeah, assuming Gosman goes game two, that'll be a crazy game. I don't know. I'm happy we went with Gosman. I'm very happy with the choice, whether it was because of his vaccination status at the time or not. Not even worth talking about. But it's gonna be a crazy game too, regardless. And like you said, there's a lot of I guess subplots. You couldn't ask for a more exciting series to return to
Mm-hmm.
Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
And the next one is Yusei Kikuchi, who's been pretty good as of late.
Great.
And there's one intriguing thing. Although we've been dogging on the guy all season pretty much. He was only thrown in there for 18 pitches in the season
Yeah.
finale against Baltimore, which leads to suggest that maybe he does have a spot on the roster, being that Seattle has a lot of left-handed hitters and he could get a look or two in the wild card series.
Yeah. I saw the same thing. Very intriguing. They put in Trent Thornton after like 18 pitches. Yeah, that could be a he would return and face his old team if he does do that, and I could see a world where he does it. We'll know tomorrow. It's gonna be super complicated, but yeah, I could
Mm-hmm.
see. He's been striking out a ridiculous amount, like 40%. He's looked good, and honestly, I don't think he's gonna be a big contributor, if any contributor in the playoffs this year at all. But it gives me hope for next year. It really does,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean he's spending time with Pete Walker. I think he could be a X factor next year, but that's for the offseason videos. Kikuchi,
Yeah,
cool story. Do you have anything else to touch on, or are we gonna?
I mean, yeah, I do, but on Kikuchi, yeah, we just haven't seen enough from him
No.
this year to like I wouldn't feel comfortable sending him out there in a high leverage situation. I
No.
there's no way, and he won't get sent out there in a high leverage, but it does bode well for next year,
Yep.
and he's looked decent, and it gives you another option out of the pen, whether it be in mop up duty or if you have a big lead and you don't want to waste an arm. Although I would be hesitant to put him in that situation too. But the final thing maybe we could touch on is Charlie Montoyo, who was uh, given one more game after being swept by Seattle. I was actually at that game in Toronto against the Phillies. That was his last game that he managed as a Blue Jay manager, and I said it on the radio station that I work at a few days before that they're gonna fire Charlie Montoyo, and that's one of my claims to fame that I called it before it happened, and it did happen. And John Schneider has had a total turnaround with this roster.
Yeah. Really, we can almost thank the Mariners for sweeping us, because we a change that needed to be made eventually. Anyways, I don't think Charlie
Yeah,
was ever gonna take us over the next couple of years, so it was gonna need to happen. I think I saw something today that John Snyder has like the same amount of wins as Charlie, except with like 20 less losses. So, yeah, John Snyder's great. I think that he perfect guy at least for this year, and I think in the future as well. But I don't know, he almost like embodies what like the Jays team is, full of energy, all together, camaraderie, and all that. And yeah, it's another crazy storyline. This
it
series,
is.
yeah,
It is great because he came up with all these guys.
yep,
He coached Biggio, Bichette, Guerrero in the minor leagues, and it's kind of coming full circle. Whereas he's now leading them into their first legitimate, real playoff run, and I can't wait, Nick. I can't wait to be there tomorrow. I can't wait to be there on Saturday, and it's just going to be a blast.
Yeah, I'm jealous, but at the same time, I get to watch it from really far away. But at least I'll be watching it. Make sure to send me some videos so we can put those in the big breakdown of the series, win or lose. Hopefully, win. Um,
I will. I will for sure. And we'll go to the ALCS together. How does that sound?
I'm in. If they make it there, I'll find a way to go. I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll find a way to go. And this series, it's gonna be crazy. We broke down the obviously the Jays one here now, and expect the video tomorrow on the whole postseason our predictions. Not really a breakdown as much as it is just predictions of all the teams and who we think's gonna win the World Series. So that'll be up tomorrow. And then expect some breakdowns with the wild card games. They might be solos because obviously Peter's going to the games and he's going to be enjoying himself. So I'll have to I'll have to carry some of those for a couple days. But we will have a wild card breakdown after game 2, based on my prediction, or game 3 at some point. And hopefully they go far because that would make for some crazy content. And I'm just it's like Christmas Eve.
I hope I can enjoy myself because I won't if the Jays lose. But hey, man, we'll sign off. Go Jays, baby.